Hello and welcome to West Country Wanderings. Welcome to another one of my Devon series. I'm back here in Plymouth again, in Devon, and behind me here is a place called The Box. It was originally an Edwardian museum, but a couple of years ago it was completely renovated with new buildings added on to the original Edwardian structure. Now there's a fantastic museum showing you about the history of Plymouth. I've never actually been in it before, so we're going to have a look inside the box today. I'm just going to show you some of the highlights, what we got inside there, and I'll let you know what we think at the end. I'd love to know what you think too by dropping a comment below. So here we are in the box in Plymouth, and these are figureheads which would have been on various maritime ships, probably at one time berthed in Plymouth Port or Devonport, and they have been displayed here inside this fantastic museum in Plymouth city centre here in Devon. The box is also close to the University of Plymouth, and you also have these reference books dotted around the museum. These sort of things particularly interest me. You've got books there about the prison on Dartmoor, not that far from here, probably 10 to 15 miles, near Princetown. Portrait of Dartmoor. A book of Buckland and Monacorum, which is a lovely village a few miles to the north of Plymouth. Some more history books there of Dartmoor Farms. Now, if you watched my Charles Church video recently, also here in Plymouth, this links into it because that is a memorial to all of the bombing that took place in Plymouth, as well as the lives lost during the nights of those two particular nights when the Charles Church was destroyed. You can see here in these statistics there were 229 fires during the bombing, 1,174 people in Plymouth lost their lives, and 4,994 buildings destroyed. Not only that, there was 1,362 bombs, of which 420 were unexploded. Now, the box was originally an Edwardian museum, and it was extended. I think it opened possibly a couple of years ago now, maybe 18 months ago, with these new wing additions, but this is the older part of the original Edwardian museum here in Plymouth. Now, also at the box they hold the Southwest Media Archive here. You can see on the monitors there countdown timers for TSW Television Southwest, which was the ITV company which provided television programmes for Devon, Cornwall and parts of Somerset and Dorset throughout the 1980s into the 1990s, when it went over then to West Country Television. It's wonderful to see that. There's the old test cards and the transmitters. Snow probably in 1963 there. And you can also see the timeline there, 1954. It was originally Westward Television, which broadcast from Darius Cross, and then later became Television Southwest, and in the 1990s, West Country Television with its large W symbol. And this piece of equipment here is a rank Cinetel tele-cine machine. In those days, news gathering would have been on 16mm film, and obviously that needed to be converted to used, and you can see under there they've got Quattro scans, digital Quattro scans, which would have film would have gone through the reader there and been converted digitally. It looks very, very archaic to the equipment that we use today. Now, this is a very interesting piece of kit. This is a Steenbeck. It's incredible, really. This is what historically you would have done editing on, so doing the YouTube videos that I do. Obviously I do editing all on my laptop digitally from the files that I record on my camera like I'm doing now. But in the old days you would have had reels of film there. You would have put the cans of films on there and you would have passed them through the heads here, and you would have viewed it through here, and the film would have been literally spliced together physically. Wow, amazing piece of kit. Now the BBC started broadcasting in the southwest in April of 1961. If you were watching the BBC in those days, you probably watched it on one of these television receivers. And this bit of equipment here is Ampex tape recorders. And they usually used Betamax, not VHS, because it was a superior recording technology onto videotape. Amazing collection of cameras here all over the years. This is just wonderful to see here, some of them that I recognise. You've got an old Panasonic camcorder there, 3C CD in the centre there. Good old Bell and Howell 8mm camera there. And for developing, we've got Kodak film tanks there. And loads more there, the ones with the 3 lenses on. You could just change the lenses by turning it. Again, I think that's an 8mm Sony camera. And go on to cinemas in Plymouth. Some cinema seats there as well.
And their performance is absolutely exhilarating. They're performing tonight.
Wonderful radios here. Bush radio there. Radiogram. And down the bottom there, a music centre. Do you remember those? There's an old clip there from either BBC or ITV talking about the Hall Sands disaster, which I've covered previously on the channel here on West Country Wanderings. Now this media display has actually won an award last year, European Museum, for Best Exhibition in a Museum. It really is terrific and lays it out. Photography, radio, television and film. It's very, very well put together. The archive that they have here covers some 10,000 hours of local television reportage from ITV, Westwood, TSW and West Country and the BBC, as well as an extensive photography archive as well. As well as the box, the media collection here, and reference books and displays, you also have a shop, galleries and a cafe. So this part of the museum is called 100 Journeys, momentous voyages that set off from the port of Plymouth. Many of the people doing the Grand Tour from the late 1600s would have set off from Plymouth to travel for inspiration, learning and enjoyment. part of the display is all about the fishing industry in Plymouth. Still remains an important part of Plymouth today. Very dangerous job as well.
Yeah, it's not a typical 9-to-5 job. It's constant, it's cold, it's wet, it's heavy lifting. But it's important for us to treat the fish with respect. We fishermen, they bring their loads to catch the fish. Some of them have been out for 4 or 5 days. We bring the fishing in here.
I think the industry's changed in the fact that people are more aware of where they're fishing.
Somebody once said to me, what's heaven? He said it's a place where every day is landing day.
And so that was the box. I'd love to know what you thought of that. I was very, very impressed. Bonuses, it's free entry as well. So if you find yourself in Plymouth stuck for something to do for a couple of hours, I can't recommend it highly enough. I thought it was really, really impressive to see that in there. Particularly of interest to me was the media box. We have all of the records of the library, the television archive, and they have an extensive portfolio of photographs and television newsreels from when it was Television Southwest and going back to Westward days and the start of the BBC in the Southwest. BBC is still here, actually they're in Seymour Road, but I think ITV now moved up to Bristol, just have a small news gathering facility here. But anyway, I'd love to know what you think. It's the end of it today. All the best here on West Country Wandering. Take care. Bye-bye.